Hello friends. So today, April the 10th, 2022, one eek in the Mayan calendar, we get to that. That's the white magnetic wind, the first day of a new 13-day cycle. And what do we have? We have a geomagnetic storm going on, an unexpected one over top of it. The sun wasn't that busy, and here we go. They couldn't predict it. This came out of the blue, produced really nice auroras. Just showing you here that little clip which space weather. Okay, here we start over. Yes, so this came as a surprise, and this is just part of the game. I mean, I just show you the KP index here. That is the intensity of the storm, of the geomagnetic storm, and I show you here on the website, on the space weather side. There is this little link here which shows you more data. You see KP strong. The KP is the index of the magnitude of the Earth's magnetic field being shaken, being rattled. So that was most intense very early morning. This is Greenwich time, 0 time, which means in North America, this was last night after about 9 p.m. till 3 in the morning here on the West Coast. So we are starting a super intense week, and certainly it is interesting that coincidence with this that today is one eek. Actually, this is still yesterday. Here we have that is let me see if this is correct. No, that's May 18. Let's just go back to where we are right now, April the 10th, and then we say reading, and then here it pops up, the white magnetic wind, the first day of 13 days, setting the tone for these coming days. Now, this is a very powerful day. This is not only the first day of a 13-day cycle, it is a galactic activation portal, which means there is an overlaying energy which makes this whole day more intense. There is lots possible. And usually on portal days, the challenges can be bigger, but also rewards can be bigger. So this is the head of a 13-day cycle, means the 10th today of April, lasting into the 23rd of April. This will be an extremely eventful time. Eek is the spirit of the wind. It's the carrier of the spirit. That's what the wind is. So the solar wind bringing a new energy, it's loaded with coded information. Each photon, each particle which comes from the sun is loaded with information which is then seeded into Earth's magnetic field and picked up by consciousness. And the wind which we experience here, the weather-related wind, that is then distributing this energy further. It is quite an amazing system. Now, the wind being the carrier of spirit is meaning the wind carries information. These 13 days and eek days, wind days in general, are about the flow of information, so you can expect lots of disclosure, lots of revelations, just to start rolling out in an avalanche almost, and we're heading into the Easter weekend, which is super exciting what's going on there. I will do another video on that. This one is focused on just the present energy and the upcoming Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, which is just 2 days away now on the 12th. It will be on day 3 here of this cycle, on the yellow electric the yellow electric cosmic seed days are bringing in new potentials, opening them up, and the number 3 is electric. It's a very fast flowing energy. So let's just go step by step. I have prepared here a few things for you. So let's just go into astrology now and see where we're at. So this is the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction of the 12th, but let's just roll back a little bit and go into the waxing half moon of yesterday, early morning, Saturday the 9th of April. The sun at 1924 Aries, the moon at 1924 Cancer. This is the critical moment when the moon is at that exact halfway point between new moon and full moon, where it will be here. So this is always the most dynamic, outgoing moment of lunar energy, starting really after a build-up, preparation, so to say, on day 7 of the solar lunar cycle. This is when we are having the most yang energy, most male push forward, change, shift, all that comes in. So this is always a powerful moment in the solar lunar cycle, and we are approaching this last full moon of that sequence of 8 full moons, which have an exact angle to the galactic center. The galactic center is the central sun at 27 degrees Sagittarius. It is where all the stars we can see in the night sky are rotating around. Everything else in space is far, far more distant, which can't be seen by bare eye. So all the stars we see are part of Milky Way, our galaxy, and that is the core of Milky Way. And whenever that galactic center comes into play, this is an infusion of extra power, of a higher frequency, higher dimension, and that's what has been going on for the last 6 months. It is a calibration to a higher level of reality. We are just coming to the conclusive last month into May 16, which then will be first. On the last day of April, we will have a partial solar eclipse, and then on May 16, we will have a total lunar eclipse, which will be in many ways the culmination of that evolutionary period, which started with fall equinox 2021, with that first full moon in an exact angle to the galactic center. So the long and short, we are just getting into really an intense spread of days, and this can be seen here very clearly in this Greenwich chart. Some of you have asked me why I chose Greenwich. I left a comment there under my last video, so you can go there and read it. That gives you a bit of an understanding why this location on planet Earth is so super important. Sedna rising and Pluto at midheaven. This is an exact trine. 1 minute is missing to the exact 120 degree angle, and you won't believe that is as close as they get this time, because Pluto is just about to get to a complete standstill, and then turning retrograde, I guess on April 29th. So this is as close as they get. So this is kind of interesting in itself, and I mentioned some things about that square, that trine. It is Pluto transformation pushing against that Sedna energy of dark and heavy energy, which has to be transmuted. Sedna has lots to do with what we have been experiencing in the last 2 years: social distancing, separation, abuse, coercion. All that is totally linking in with Sedna. So expect things to get at first more intense, but transformation is on its heels, not just yet quite catching up to that exact angle. So we are not fully there yet. That's what it really says. However, some important foundations are laid right now, and definitely the most impressive, important, crucial marker in time will be when Jupiter and Neptune have their exact meeting on the 12th of April, 2:43 p.m. roughly in Greenwich Zero Time, which will be early morning here in North America on the west coast most likely. So first of all, Jupiter and Neptune are meeting in the 24th degree of Pisces. That hasn't happened for 165 years. That's how it takes Neptune to once circle through the whole zodiac, and Jupiter is now the first time again meeting Neptune in their own sign. So whenever Jupiter is present, this enlarges the other planet. So Neptune is strongly enlarged, light is pumped into it, attention is brought to Neptune. That's what it basically means. It has a very strong spiritual component, as Pisces is about universal love and the that happiness of contentment, of being part of the ocean and absorbing all these beautiful frequencies. Neptune is at best the play of colors and sounds. It's very imaginative and takes you to a much more elusive and ethereal level of frequency. So there's lots of different possibilities how this can express. However, as where we are right now in the collective history, let's see what the I Ching is saying, what part in the I Ching we are in here. And I have pulled this screen up, which I showed you many times, which is the overlay of the 64 hexagrams with the zodiac. And if we zoom in here to that last degrees of Pisces, then here you see between 20 to 37 and 30 seconds till 28:15, that's the segment of 36, darkening of the light. Now this is super important. This is the final hexagram of the zodiac, so to say. 25 then is the one which starts us again, and this overlap is particularly interesting. Anyway, but that's another story. 36, darkening of the light. Let's read what the I Ching translation says about this hexagram. Darkening of the light ensures him in the left thigh. It gives aid. He gives aid with the strength of a horse. Good fortune. Here the Lord of Light is in a subordinate place and wounded by the Lord of Darkness. But the injury is not fatal. It is only a hindrance Rescue is still possible. The wounded man gives no thought to himself, he thinks only of saving the others who are also in danger. Therefore, he tries with all his strength to save all that can be saved. There is good fortune in thus acting according to duty. So you get the theme. It is a theme of a critical place, of having to be very careful how to act. I mean, Neptune is now in this area of the zodiac, just actually entered not too long ago, just a week or two ago, and will be in there till 2024. So first of all, Neptune in the darkening of the light can mean many things again. On one level, it is the awareness which grows, how the Neptunian energy has been hijacked, pulled into the dark. It becomes even more obvious and visible. Jupiter in there now since also very shortly into the end of this month about. So it's a relatively short period. Both are in there, is bringing real light into this dark area of the zodiac. The light has sunk into the earth. The image of darkening the light. Thus the superior man live with the great mass. He feels his light, yet still shines. In times of darkness, it is essential to be cautious and reserved. One should not needlessly awaken overwhelming enmity by inconsiderate behavior. In such times, one ought not to fall in with the practices of others, neither should one drag them censoriously into the light. In social intercourse, one should not try to be all-knowing. One should let many things pass without being duped. So it's a sign of extreme carefulness when that image is brought up. And now the second line where they meet is an interesting one. It says, I guess that's the one we read already. Now, changing this line only brings hexagram 11, tie or peace. So this line is able to handle the situation. You see, this is the second line which is changing by its activation, changing into a male line. So then we have the three strong lines below and the three feminine yin lines at the top, which is heaven is below earth, which is hexagram tie 11, which is peace. So it is an amazing ability to survive in peace within that dark place where the light is hidden, where everything is suppressed. So it is, one acts from a very hidden place in an exactly directed manner. That's how this energy is brought into the world. Now this Greenwich chart here has the moon at 0 degrees Virgo. This is super powerful. The first degree of a sign always is initiating into a new chapter of reality, particularly when it is at the seed point of a big new cycle starting. Virgo moon is all about the careful application, step-by-step procedure. It is self-nurturing. It is an energy which is able to dissolve all the hindrances as it goes. Very confident. At the east point here, at the equatorial point, that is the ascendant on Earth's equator. This is even more empowering this lunar energy, and the moon is super important in whenever something with the water signs is activated. This is Jupiter and Neptune in that water sign, Pisces. So the moon represents the people. It shows that extreme carefulness and ability to initiate something new, to go in a whole new direction with what is now starting to come into the open over these next few weeks. The theme will be built. The sun in an exact conjunction with Pallas, very powerful, very beautiful, and applying to the conjunction of Aries. This is all about knowledge and wisdom being seeded into the collective mind from the 8th house perspective, which is again through hidden channels, in a way very subversive. We're using venues which cannot be predicted, doing things in a concealed way. That's all that 36, darkening of the light energy, of extreme carefulness. So there's lots and lots more going on in this chart. I mean, it is very powerful times we are getting into. The Easter weekend, which is just days away, proves to be extremely intense, and I just give you a little preview here. That's where we will be on the 14th, just the first day before Easter, which is the Green Thursday, we call it in German. I don't know if that is the same name in English, but that's the day before Black Friday, and that is the day when the black moon is most exactly at the cardinal point, 0 degrees Cancer, ingressing the moon's sign. That will be the initial point of bringing all that emotional wave of recognition of what is really going on here on this planet. For the last 9 months, the black moon was in Gemini, which prepared the ground. All the information is basically seeded, it's all available. Now comes the moment of impact, of getting the masses to truly realize what the state of this planet is at. So this is now getting it real. This was the preparation in the last whatever how many years building up to that, but that cardinal points, the cardinal points are super important. These are the suspension points to with reality. Whenever a planet is in that position, then it is publicly felt on many levels. It comes in as a manifestation. So this is just the start of the Easter weekend. More on that in my next video. Okay, thanks for listening, and see you around.